Alrighty, this is a fun video here. Today we're going to work on getting Markdown into Business Catalyst. And what does that mean? If you're not familiar with Markdown, I'm going to share a couple links with you you should check out. It's a really cool kind of like text syntax almost that gets converted to HTML on the fly. And this is normally done from server-side scripting, through Perl scripts and such. Is invented by this guy named John Gruber. And I'll share the link to this site. You can check it out and you can learn about the syntax and such. In this video, we're not going to cover much of that. It doesn't take very long to learn. And it's just kind of a cool way to write. It's really invented for folks writing out on the web there and blogs and such. And it's just you don't have to muddle your writing up with HTML or use an editor that creates garbage HTML. Or anything like that. It's pretty neat. But if you've worked in Business Catalyst for very long, you know that you can't have like server-side scripting present. So how are we going to get how are we going to get Markdown into Business Catalyst? And there's just one way. There's probably a billion others, but this is one way I was thinking might be kind of cool and easy to manage. And that's using this port that's been set up by this feller here that took it, and they're using JavaScript to port Markdown. So I'm going to leverage this plugin here, and I'm going to use text files and Ajax and just some simple HTML to get this going here. And so here I am on a page. I've got this test page here set up, and right now there's actually no content in my Markdown file, which happens to be a text file. And so I've got nothing showing up here. So I wanted to write some on the fly so you could see it. So in the back end, I'm using the Develop Tool tab actually than the editor, than the WYSIWYG or any other tools in the admin panel here, because I'll be able to edit this text file without any problems. And this is just fun to use anyway. So here in the side of this folder, this demo folder, I've just got the JS file to the showdown, to the Markdown part, test HTML file, and then the content that we're loading here on the fly. So if I go to the test HTML file, let's look at the markup first. Just one div in the page just to show how this works. It's got a class that I can easily target, and then a data attribute here called markdown-data, and we're pointing to this text file. So up in here in the JavaScript, basically we're going to create some variables here. We're going to find the target. We're going to find the text file here. And then we're going to use the Ajax load. And the callback for this is where the plugin is being used. We're defining variable here and then converting the HTML that was found inside the text file that we loaded to Markdown. And then the plugin works its magic. I'm sorry, we're not converting to Markdown. We're taking the Markdown and converting it to HTML using the plugin, and then we inject that into the div here on the page. So, obviously this would not be good for SEO because there's not going to be any content really there in the page. Just be kind of empty div. So if SEO is important to you, don't use this. But this kind of gets you going here and thinking about how you can actually, if you could, not call an external file and just have that plain text in there, Markdown inside of a div, and convert that using this plugin as well, so you at least get that content into the page. But in this example, I really wanted to just use external files because I thought that'd be kind of cool. We could just, call little external text files and for content chunks here just by defining a data attribute. So this is the HTML required. Now let's go to the text file and let's write just show you a real quick example of Markdown. Here's how you make a heading. I'm an H1 heading. Okay, now I'm just going to save. So this is pretty clean, really easy to read. Come out and I'll refresh and see if that worked. There we go. It's in the page. Let's inspect this here and see if it actually is an H1. Now this particular plugin actually makes an ID as well, but it really just takes the text from the heading itself and smashes it into an ID. I'm sure you could disable that. I haven't looked into it too much, but I didn't see it really causing a problem outside of I just don't really like to have IDs on the page that much, so there might be a setting to kill that. There's also other ways in Markdown you can create a heading as well by instead of using the hash, by equals, doing stuff like this. But in this case, I'm just so it's easy to read, I'm going to like add some lorem here. Let me pull up some. Get some lorem going. So this will just be regular paragraph text. I'll hit save. Come out and refresh. So now we got paragraph text there. So we see here in the inspector that's been converted to HTML, and I haven't had to write any HTML. So this might be kind of cool to teach a client how to use. If they're a little bit tech savvy, at least if they can get to here and get to here, you could get them writing this before you could get them writing HTML for sure. Or you could do something like this using an external application. Here's one called IA Writer, this is really cool for writing anything pretty much. Here's an example of some Markdown that I've got here off to the side. I'm just going to take this, so you could use this app and then come to the text file and paste in that Markdown and hit save and then refresh. And I've just quickly added that content to that page, and it's all been converted to HTML here. And so what I'll do here is in the notes here to the screencast, I'll share all those links. I'll share this example Markdown, and it's kind of a neat little trick to leverage Markdown in BC. Hope you enjoyed.